Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. In today's episode, we are going to be talking about the unfortunate downfall of Arc Raiders. And I know there's going to be a lot of people arguing and saying, oh, Arc Raiders hasn't fallen off. No, it's still a good game. The game still has a big player base. Like, people be playing it a lot. Yeah, on Steam, they lost half of their player count. You know, maybe on Xbox and PlayStation, it might be roughly the same numbers as the amount of people that started playing it on day one. But explain how the game done lost over half of its player base on Steam. So I'm like, the game, it had, hold on for a second, because I still got the page open up. On the day it released, it had 481,000. No, I think this was actually, no, this was in November. No, yeah, this was in November when they had us, so it wasn't in October, because, no, yeah, doing the math, I'm like, no, yeah, that was 4 months ago. No, yeah, it was in November, my fault. I did get the months a little wrong and stuff, but, because the game came out, what was it, October 31st, I believe. Hold on for a second, do they have... yeah, because I actually did open October 30th. So October 30th, game comes out. Everybody is playing it. Then for some odd reason, on November 16th, 481,000 people played the game. So that was its peak. That was the all-time peak for that game. And then today, in a 24-hour peak, they only had 217,000 people play the game. Now, that's a lot compared to some other games that I will talk on. But at the end of the day, what happened to those players? What's going on with those players? And maybe they could be preparing themselves for the one game marathon. That game's going to be coming out here soon. But and here's the thing. When you live in a day and age, right, where you really, and I mean really, have to impress a gamer in order for them to be playing your guys' game for a long time, do you honestly think, and this is asking all gamers, do you honestly think by limiting the game and its playability, do you honestly think a game like that is going to last a long period of time? Because if so, ask Fortnite, the developers behind Fortnite, ask them why did they add so much content into their game. Ask Ubisoft why they added so much content in the Crew Motorfest and the Division. And I'm trying to think of some other games they done came out with. I think, yeah, I still have yet to play that mode in there. But the whatchamacallit, the third, not third person, but the first person, you get to play as a sword swinging pirate now in Skull and Bones. So they still add content to that game. I'm trying to think, Grand Theft Auto, they added so much content to the game to where they still do to this day still add content, but they added so much content that at one point in time it seemed like that they didn't know what else to add. So they added the support of modded servers into the game. Now you got it where the fans are adding content. My question is why isn't Arc Raiders in that conversation of a video game that has a lot of content? Why do you think the developers only want to have one mode in the game? Because I said, but even besides PvE, there is so much content that you can add into that game from a wave mode. Add a wave mode in that game, or even add some stuff where kind of like how they do in Helldivers, where it's like you don't even have to, the objective ain't going around. It's just a co-op experience. So yeah, overall you can have a co-op experience in that game. You can have a wave mode in that game. You can have a single player story mode in that game. You can add some PvP content, whether it's team deathmatch, free for all. I'm trying to think what else. Just to have it where there's more than just the extraction stuff to do in the game, but to have it where that's the only thing that you can do, game ain't gonna last. And the one video game that I can think of, two video games that I can think of where it has a PvE mode. Because if we can just talk on that real quick, people like to say that with Arc Raiders that it's going to split the resources and ruin the game if they add a PvE mode. Gray Zone Warfare has a PvPvE and a PvE mode in the game. I ain't seen those resources get split or no games get ruined. I think the only reason why that game isn't good is because the developers, it's in a very early access stage, with Gray Zone Warfare. And then the other game where it's just strictly PvE is Incursion Red River. I think it's strictly PvE, but I ain't seen nothing get ruined with that game. As a matter of fact, they just came out with a new update where they added some stuff. Hold on for a second. Let me see this update. And although it is an extraction shooter, and most likely, come towards the end. Because, there's a video game that I will be talking on that's coming out at the end of this year, and I think we all know what that game is. But Overall, though, yeah, with Incursion Red River, they added new content where a new complete reworked AI by Solarant. And then story campaign act 1 of 3, 23 missions voiced by Jane Perry, new map called Delta, new extreme weather system, rain and thunderstorm, new in-raid events and side quests, new safe house upgrade system, new boss Monstera, new loose loot, new in-game VoIP system with realistic occlusions, whatever that word is. Don't care for knowing the word, but anyways, new faction, IGC Iron Guard Corps, new voice lines, IGC and VLF factions, new improved lighting on all maps, new Steam achievements, new resource system, new repair system, newly added vaulting and mantling, overhauled economy, overhauled recoil and stats, improved sounds and ambience, improved performance and optimization, engine upgrade from Unreal Engine 5.4 to 5.6, and then they also added 6 new weapons: the SR-25, the Galil Ace 2, M9A3 Beretta, Sage 12. Sig Soarer MPX and the Norinco CQ. So my thing is this, right? And even when the game had very first came out, like, it was still playable, but I had to say, to see them add, so my question is, I guess, if they can add all these new things into the game, why is it that the last thing that Arc Raiders did was they added 2 new arcs and hurricanes? That's it. That's all that they added. They ain't add no new loot. They ain't add no new weapons. And if anything, they've been nerfing the weapons and stuff. And then they have it where the loot. Alright, fam. So here's the thing. My time with playing Arc Raiders, because I'm done with the game. I have no desires on playing the game. If you watch my last stream, I have no desires on playing that game. I uninstalled it. I wish the developers the best, but my thing is this: if you don't plan on doing no new things to your guys' game, I'm sorry, but the game is going to fall off when Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out. And I know a lot of people are going to it's either going to be saying one of two things. Well, of course the game's going to fall off when Grand Theft Auto 6. Everybody's going to be playing that. Or people are going to be like, oh no, the game, it's still going to be a good game. People are still going to play it. Yeah, but the game already done lost over half of its player base. They had like 481,000 people playing it last year. And now all of a sudden the game is, it barely can break over 220,000. Still, because I think the 24-hour peak, it was at 217,000. So no, that is good. And then comparing it to Incursion Red River and Gray Zone Warfare, yeah, you guys still have a high player base. And that's the only reason why you guys have a high player base, is because of the content creators that are constantly posting clips, doing live streams, and posting YouTube videos of your guys' game. I guarantee and I promise you, if Incursion Red River and Gray Zone Warfare had the same amount of people that were promoting their game, oh yeah, it definitely, those games, I think a lot of people will be looking at those games like, yeah, this is what Arc Raiders need to be doing. But to have it where it's only you're forced to play against people where they're just out to just ruin the game for others, why do you think people want to play that? Why do you? And then when I say ideas like, oh, okay, well, if you guys don't want to add a PvE mode, add an insurance thing, to have it where it's like my loot is insured and I don't have to worry about losing it. And even people were saying that, well, have it where the extraction areas are safe zones and nobody don't get killed there. I'm saying, like, to me, it's just to have it where there are people trying to help your guys' game and be improved, and you're so caught up listening to the PvP players. This is talking to the developers behind Arc Raiders. You guys are so caught up listening to the PvP players that it just gets drowned out, and you don't even hear the PvE players and stuff. To me, games like that, no, they don't deserve the fame that it gets. And I know there's going to be a lot of people upset with what I have to say, and they are going to be trying to defend the game. My thing is this, though. Even if we go and switch back to talking about the amount of content that doesn't exist in that game, let's talk on some video games that do have a lot of content. Let's talk on the one game that I was just talking about the last time I did an Arc Raiders video, The Division 2. Where the Division 1 and 2, and I think they just recently came out with an update where it's like, I'm gonna play that game and see what it's all about, because I was trying to play it yesterday and it was acting up. Then I tried playing it today and then it had like a 20-something gigabyte update, and I'm like, dang, bro, can I just play this game? But anyways, but no, let's talk on the Division. So they have the story mode. Then they have like some I think, because did they have PvE content outside of the story mode? I guess like, yeah, like raids and I know that this is more of a Destiny term, but strike missions. I think they did have like strike missions in the game where it required you to play the game with other people. But they did also have like some PvP content. I remember they did add the PvP content a little bit later, and then they added a survival mode where no, they put you in like some. So they actually had it where the conditions in the game, like it was pretty crazy. Like they had where you were out in like negative, like maybe 50-degree weather where your health is slowly going down. Then you guys stand next to like fire pits or inside of buildings to get your I guess like your body heat back up and stuff. Like I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the PvP stuff. I enjoyed what else? The story. And then they also had an extraction shooter mode, Dark Zone, where I was like, if you didn't even want to play Dark Zone, and I didn't really play that much of Dark Zone. I think I remember I played it a few times. I guess like, yeah, the times where I would record videos and stuff. And then I do remember there was one night where me and my friends, we were just playing Dark Zone because they didn't know too much about the Division. So I was just kind of being like their tour guide and stuff and helping them out because I had a little bit more experience with the game and things. But yeah, other than that, it was like Dark Zone extraction shooters. It's like, don't get me wrong, the concept of an extraction shooter is a good and risky concept, but at the same time, you know, when you have, because like that was a thing that I had to say that why Dark Zone in my opinion is better than most modern day extraction shooters is because they have like no missions linked to Dark Zone. So if you went in there at your own risk and yeah, had to play that gamble of finding good loot and then extracting with it. But they are not like, oh, go in there and do this mission, and then you have it where there's people extraction camping and pretty much out just ruin the game for you. They didn't do that. So my question is why does Arc Raiders do that? Why is it that you guys have it where there's missions? Why can you not just separate the missions from the PvP? Because you know how people play. It's like you guys, the thing is this, I guarantee and I promise you the developers behind Arc Raiders, it ain't like this is your first time ever getting into video games. I promise you that these guys have been playing video games for a long period of time, probably done played a lot of different online games, and it just seemed like they're clueless to people out to just troll and mess up other people's game. So why do you think it is a good idea to have it? Because there ain't no risk with that. There ain't no, you know, having it where that's fun, where I'm trying to do a mission, but there's people out ruining the mission where they shooting and killing me in the back, and now there's things that I had and I can't extract with it. You give people only 3 safe pockets, and if I'm doing multiple, or if I'm get into a session and I find multiple things that I need to extract with, do you really think 3 safe pockets is enough? No, it's not. So that's why I'm like, have it where the whole loot thing is insured, not just 3 little safe pockets and stuff. That's why I'm like, man, it just, to me, it doesn't even make any sense why they would do some stuff like that. But my thing is this, I've always have talked on my frustration with Arc Raiders. I sound like a broken record at this point. I tell you what, come towards the end of the year when Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, let's see where Arc Raiders is at by then, you know, because my thing is this is what I see with the game. It's not going to change. They still going to have the same old crap unless they manage to do something in the summer, but having it where, oh, we're just going to have it where the game is on sale, and then and we might add another new arc, nerf some more weapons, and might add like a new map into the game, or if not that, yeah, just probably some new arc and new weather conditions. Might add a new weapon. We don't know. But the thing is this. It's not going to be enough to keep people from playing Grand Theft Auto 6 when that game comes out. So if somehow, some way they manage to beat out, and that'll be the day where I'm like, okay, maybe Arc Raiders is here to stay. The day that they, I guess no. So when Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, if nobody is playing that game, and everybody is playing Arc Raiders on the day of Grand Theft Auto 6 releasing, then I would take down any negative. I'll take down any rants that I made about the game. I would say it's the best video game of all time. But if my thing is this, if they haven't done nothing to the game besides, oh, we're going to nerf some more weapons, we're gonna now add a helicopter arc now, or we're gonna add a map where it kind of looks like some of the other maps and things, and it's just, oh, it's instead of buried city, we're gonna have buried underground or something, where it just looks like Stellamontis with a bunch of sand all over the place. So yeah, and I'm like, and that's probably all like, oh, it'll be the outside area of Stellamontis. I'm like, that's the new map and things. So it's just pretty much an old map, just the outside of the map. That's why I'm like, man, you know what? Here's the thing. If they don't do nothing to the game, then it's like people stop playing it. But the ones that want to sit around and defend the game, defending it ain't gonna help that game from falling off. Cause it's one of those things where I know for a fact that Arc Raiders ain't gonna beat out Grand Theft Auto 6 when it comes out, because I know when that game comes out, all these big streamers and content creators from TikTok, Twitch, Kick, YouTube, I'm trying to think of some other websites, all of social media where we see all these different people playing Arc Raiders. We're going to see a massive transition from people playing Arc Raiders to people playing Grand Theft Auto 6. It might even be the developers themselves playing Grand Theft Auto 6 when that game comes out. But the thing is this. It makes no sense to release a game when you guys, I guarantee and I promise you, you ask those developers, what games did you guys play growing up? Because if you grew up in that era of even the Xbox 360 era, but if you grew up in that era of playing PlayStation 2, because hold on for a second, let's just see who the developer is, or at least how old they are behind Arc Raiders. Do they have a Wikipedia page? They should. Yeah, I was about to say they should have a Wikipedia page. Embark Studios, key people. This man, he's 52 years old. So he was born in 1973. So in the 80s, pretty sure he had to have an Atari system. If he did, 90s definitely had to have some Nintendo systems. Early, from 2000 to 2010, definitely had to have a PlayStation. Unless he just. So wait a minute. There's like, so this is his biography thing on Wikipedia. So Patrick Soderlund is a Swedish businessman and video game executive. He was an executive vice president in charge of worldwide studios at EA. Well, that's okay. So that's probably why the game is in the position that it's in. Because I'm like, yeah, if he's been around with EA, then it's one of those things where it just I just remember playing a lot of different EA games growing up, and it just seemed like that and that's another game too, the finals, where I'm like, that game's been out for 3 years and it's just a PvP shooter. It's like they ain't add no new stuff to that game, and it's like, and that's why I'm like, Arc Raiders is going, because I wonder how many people are playing the finals right now. Hold on for a second. Steam player. Yeah, because at one point in time, a lot of people were playing that game. Where is it at right now? They saw all-time peak 2.3 years ago with 242,000 people playing it. They had in a 24-hour peak, they had 12,000 people. They went from 242,000 to 12,000 people, and currently right now they got 7,000 people in the game. So I think if I can estimate how many people they're in Arc Raiders, so they got 128,000 now, probably 28,000, and then in a 24-hour peak, maybe 40 to 50,000. That's the most that they'll have. But anyways, it's like this guy coming from EA. I think that's why Arc Raiders is in the position that it's in right now. But they was like in charge of worldwide studios at EA, overseeing all game production. He was later chief design officer of EA. And then they say he was also known for his tenure as CEO of DICE, a Swedish video game development company that created the Battlefield series of games, which acquired by EA in 2006. As of August 2016, he is reported to own approximately $11 million of EA shares. Then there was like, Soderlund announced he will be leaving EA after 12 years of service on August 14, 2018. Then there was like left EA following a disappointing release of Battlefield 6. And my thing is this, when you look, or not Battlefield 6, but Battlefield 5. But Battlefield 5, so that was the one battle. I guess, like, how would he have felt with Battlefield 2042? Because essentially that's the same exact thing of what the finals is and what Arc Raiders is. There is only one thing to do in that game. At least with Battlefield 5, you guys had the Battle Royale stuff. You had the, of course, PvP content, and then you had the story mode. So explain, how does a game with more content than Arc Raiders, how is that disappointing than Arc Raiders? You think it would be the other way around, where a game that ain't got no content, or just one mode and things. That's like opening up a restaurant and only having one thing on the item. Or a car manufacturer company just only having one car. Yeah, that's like Honda. They just only got like just one Honda. They don't got multiple Hondas and stuff. They just got one Honda, and they're like, every few months we'll add a window and a windshield and a tire and this part to the engine and this part to the trunk and this, and it's like, fam, that's essentially what Arc Raiders is. It's a project. It's not a video game. Cause and then there's like in November 2018. Soderling was announced as the CEO of Embark Studios. The studio subsequently released the finals in 2023 and Arc Raiders of last year. And February 2026, he was appointed as the executive chairman of Nexon. Yeah, and I'm like, and it's whatever game Nexon got out, that's going to be the downfall of those games too, because it just seems like that this guy, he just only wanted to just do one thing with a video game and have it where, the big streamers play those games and then not add nothing else and just leave it at that. So, yeah, it's one of those things where, at the end of the day, I could be as wrong as I can be with this podcast episode. Let's just wait and see when Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, how many people are still playing Arc Raiders. So, anyways, yeah, if you want to have some elaborative, multi-paragraph long comment trying to defend Arc Raiders, it's not going to get read. I'm just going to let, society just take its course with the game. Because my thing is this, for as long as I've been playing video games and for as long as the amount of times I have seen this happen to video games, where, yeah, they're the biggest games in the world, and then at some point in time, they fall off. People ain't playing them like how they used to. People ain't fooling with those games like how they used to. I've seen it one too many times. Arc Raiders is going to be the same exact thing that happens with them, alright? If they don't start adding new, it ain't even got to be the PvE mode. Just add other modes into the game. Add a wave mode. Add a story mode. Add PvP content, whether it's team deathmatch, capture the flag, free-for-all. You can even have like a hide-and-seek mode where people get to play as the Arcs and they got to fly around the map and find people. So you guys can very well do. The maps is big enough for it, so you guys can do some stuff like that. What are some other things? I'm saying there's so many different things that could get added into Arc Raiders, but if you guys ain't trying to do that, then yeah, the game, I guarantee and I promise you, it might even be before Grand Theft Auto 6 releases, game's gonna fall off. So, but anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. And you know what? Before I end this episode, maybe the developers, they'll hear this episode and then it hasn't really clicked in their head and stuff. This is what's gonna happen if you guys don't want to sit around and listen to the people that actually do want the good for your game and stuff, and you just want to sit around and listen to the people that just wants to continuously go around and troll people. This is what's going to happen to your game, right? The game will fall off. You won't be able to do nothing about it. And I mean, you guys will try to have it where the game is on sale. You'll try to have it where you come out with new updates. You'll try to have it where there's new things getting added into the store, so the players don't have to. Then it's like, you do that, then people ain't going to be playing the core game and stuff. They just gonna be like, oh, well, I got a gang of coins in this game. I'm just gonna go out and just buy a bunch of different buy a bunch of different stuff, and I ain't even got to play the game no more. So that's most likely it's just gonna be just people just constantly just going, probably, yeah, just buying. And that's it. And that's gonna probably be another thing too, is that people are just gonna find like, okay, do you want to trade? Like, that's what Arc Raiders is probably gonna essentially end up being, is that there's gonna be people that do play the game, and then there's gonna be people that don't really play the game and gonna be like, hey, I got this, do you have this? Okay, let's trade. And then that's the most that they'll play of the game. They're like, and then they're not even gonna be going around killing Arcs or any of that stuff. Then you might have it where it's like, oh, the Arcs are gonna be a little bit more aggressive, and now it's gonna be harder to kill them, and all these other different things. Yeah, I guess for the people that are still playing the game, then they got some new content. But for those that stop playing the game, that's not gonna bring us back in on playing it. So eventually, and then those that are playing the game still, eventually they gonna see the game for what it is, and people ain't gonna be fooling with it. And then it's gonna get to a point in time where, yeah, you might have the money still to keep the servers active, and then there's that one player that it's all like, years done passed down the road, then it's like there's still one person playing Arc Raiders, and they have to, yeah, it's like they just got the whole game to themselves. Like, they could go to whatever map, they could do whatever, and yeah, the game might go viral, years from now, people trying to play it and see what it's all about, and maybe the developer might do something that most it's gonna probably be like 3,000 people, so, and then after that, then I feel like that's when we'll probably end up seeing some stuff where the developers just quietly disappear, or it'll be on something where it's like they come out and say, hey, we're gonna stop updating the game, servers may shut down, servers may stay up, we obviously don't know, but yeah, they're gonna be like, no new seasons, no updates, nothing's gonna be getting added into Arc Raiders, so the game is and then they're gonna probably have it, and then you know what, that's probably when they're like, okay, in case for those that do want to play it, now we'll add an offline mode or PvE mode or whatever to the game when nobody is playing it. And it's like, fam, it's too late for that. And then maybe, just maybe, you might end up seeing me playing it. And then it might be on some business where it's like, they should have, and you know what? And the thing is this, if they do that and I end up playing this game, however long they do decide to do that after the game done fell off, it's one of those things where I'm definitely going to say I told you so. But I think I'm going to be saying it a lot earlier than later, because no, I'm just waiting for Grand Theft Auto. It's either going to be Grand Theft Auto 6 or another game, because there's so many different video games coming out like every month. So that's why I'm like, yeah, and especially with this year with all the different games coming out, yeah, bro, Arc Raiders ain't gonna last. So, but anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like, subscribe, viewing this on YouTube. Follow, subscribe, viewing this on the podcast streaming service. And peace.